Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama. Ladies and gentlemen, I thank you very much for your participating in this Krishna consciousness movement. So, yesterday we were discussing this verse, Balang Balavatam Chaham Kamaraga Vivarjitam Dharma Aviruddha Bhutesu Kamasmi Bharatarha. Dharma Aviruddha. Dharma Aviruddha, the meaning of Dharma Aviruddha, illegal, illicit, against the law of God. Dharma means the laws of God. And anything against the laws of God, that is called Dharma Viruddha. Dharma Viruddha and Dharma Aviruddha. Yes, sorry. Viruddha means against. And Aviruddha means not against. In favor. So, the bodily necessity of life, we eat, we require to eat, eating, and we require to sleep also, eating, sleeping, and sex life. That is also required for keeping the body fit. In Kali Yuga, these four things, bare necessities of life, eating, sleeping, mating, and defending, ahara, nidra, bhaya, vaisana. These are bare necessities of the body. That will be also in disorder in this age. People will have no sufficient food, no place to sleep, no mate to have sense enjoyment, and it will be defenseless. Just like we are seeing at the present moment. Innocent people of East Pakistan are being killed simply for political reasons. Some innocent people, lakhs of innocent people are being killed. This is the symptoms of Kali Yuga. The bare necessities of life will not be available. There is no protection in Calcutta. There is no surety. When you go out on the street, there is no surety whether you will come back home at the present moment. Perhaps you all know. So there is no proper defense, which is not refused to the animal. Why? Because everything is going on dharma viruddha. They are going against the law, nature's law, we say nature's law, or God's law. Therefore, so much mismanagement. So here Krishna specifically mentions dharma aviruddha kama, sex impulse, not against the law of God. What is that sex impulse? Against the law of God. The law of God is that sex life is required for project, for begetting children, not for sense enjoyment. Anyone who enjoys sex life for enjoyment, he is a Shudra, a less than Shudra. That is the description in Vedic literature. When Narad Muni instructs Yudhishthira Maharaj about householder's life, the householder's life When they beget child, there is a ceremony which is called Garbhadhan, Sanskar. Not that I am today very sexually agitated, I must have sex. No. Just like Kardamani's wife, Devoti, not Devoti, Aditi and Diti. Hiranyakashipu's mother, Kardamani and Diti. The wife was very sexually agitated and she requested the husband to have sexual intercourse. The husband said, no, this is not the proper time. I am describing the story shortly. But the wife was too much agitated. So she obliged the husband to have sex life with her. And after sex life, the customary said that your sons will be demons. So as a result of untimely sex life, 2 demons were born. So there is regulation of sex life. Therefore Krishna says, dharma abuddha. Sex life is sanctioned under certain conditions. That is humanity. Not like, even in cats and dogs' life, there is some limitation. They have got a period of sex life. Similarly, for Grihastha, there is a period for sex life. After menstrual period, 5 days after menstrual period, one may have sex life for begetting children. And if the woman or wife is pregnant, then there is no more sex life. Till the child is born and 6 months old. These are the regulations. And besides that, when there is sex life, there is a ceremony. It is not a secret thing. They would call, especially for the Brahmins, they would call friends, just like Hindu marriage takes place, not by agreement, but in the presence of Agni and friends and relatives and Brahmins. That is sufficient witness. Similarly, when a Brahmin goes to have sex intercourse for begetting child, there is a big ceremony. All the relatives, all the learned Brahmins are present, and with their permission, he goes for sex life. Sanctity. Therefore, the child is born very nice. Because in such family, ordinary living entity cannot come. Suchirang simatanghe yoga bhrashta sanjayate. In the family of a pure Brahmin, Suchirang, or in the family of rich man, yoga bhrashta sanjayate. The persons who have not executed the yoga system completely or somehow or other fallen down, they are given the chance of taking birth in nice Brahmin family or rich man's family. So they also take care how to beget children. That is Garbhadhan Sahasra. This is called dharma abuddha kama. This kama is sanctioned. Otherwise, it beget demands, just like Kashyapani, untimely sex. Therefore Krishna says, when there is sexual intercourse, according to the scriptural injunction, that is how Krishna says, I am that sexual intercourse. In such kind of sexual intercourse, there is no sin. That is another yajna. Just like we eat Krishna prasadam by offering yajna. Yajnasishta sino santa mucchante sarvatilmise. If we take Krishna prasadam, then we become free from all kinds of sinful reactions. Because the material world is so made that willingly or unwillingly, if you are not willing, unwillingly, you have to commit so many sinful actions. Just like to kill an animal is sinful action. But you don't want to kill. It's sin. When you are passing on the street, you are killing so many animals. While drinking water, besides, I will say, all round the water jug, there are so many animals. When you, the crop, spices, we kill so many animals. So you are responsible for them. Because in the Bhagavad Gita, je pachan dhunjante te abhang papam je pachante atmakarama. If you simply cook for your sense gratification, then you have to take responsibility of all this killing business. But if you offer to Krishna and take the prasadam, you become free from the condemnation. Similarly, we require to eat, we require to sleep, we require to mate, and we require to defend. If these things are done on account of Krishna or as enjoined in the Shastra, Shastra means, as I have already told you, the orders of Krishna are orders of God. Sadhu, Shastra, Guru, they are the same thing. There is no difference. A sadhu follows the orders of the scriptures. A guru follows the orders of the scriptures. And Shastra is description of the Supreme Law. Just like we are reading Bhagavad Gita. These are the injunctions of Krishna. Therefore, it is Shastra. Or anyone who writes in terms of the Shastra, that is right direction. If we speak Bhagavad Gita as Krishna desires, then it is right. And if we describe Bhagavad Gita to fulfill our ulterior motive for some purpose, then it is useless. So similarly, Krishna says, Dharma buddha bhuteshu kamosmi bharatvartava. Those who are not following the principle how to beget child, are not observing the Garbhadhan Sanskar, according to Shastra, immediately the family becomes converted into Shudra. No more Brahmin, no more Kshatriya. If he does not follow. This is very easy to understand. If you do something illegally, against the law, immediately you become a criminal. Similarly, Dharma Bodhidha. The Garbhadhan Sanskar has to be observed. Otherwise, we become Shudra, no more Brahmin, no more Kshatriya. So it is very difficult to say at the present moment whether Garbhadhan Sanskar is observed. At least in Garbhadhan Sanskar we understand that this child is born of a real Brahmin. But without Garbhadhan Sanskar, who knows how the child is born? Nobody knows except the mother. Therefore, the Shastra says in this age, Kali Yuga, because the Garbhadhan Sanskar is not observed regularly, Kalau Sudra Sambhava, everyone in the Kali Yuga is a Sudra. Because the Garbhadhan Sanskar is not observed. Of course, those who are observing, but it is very hard to say who is observing. But if it is not observed, then any child born either in the Brahmin family or Kshatriya family or a Vaishya family. Because the Garbhadhan sanskar is not observed, it is to be understood that the child is Shudra. Even if the Garbhadhan sanskar is observed, still by birth it is accepted that every child is a Shudra. Janmana jayate Shudra. Sanskara bhavedi. And if the regulatory purificatory processes are adopted, then he becomes Bija. Bija means twice born. First born by the father and mother, and the second birth is by the spiritual master and Vedic knowledge. Vedamat, Vedic knowledge and the spiritual master gives another birth, Upanayan, sanskar. Upanayan. Upanayan means coming nearer to the understanding of Vedic knowledge, Upanayan, or coming nearer to the spiritual master. Then he begins studying of Veda. Veda pathat bhavet vipra. And he has studied nicely Vedas. Then he becomes a Vipra. And when he understands the Supreme Lord or the Parabrahma, then he is Brahmin. This is the path. So, at the present moment, this moment, Krishna consciousness moment, is meant for creating nice Brahmins with qualification. Sattva, Sama, Dhamma, Siddhikha, Arjava, Jnanam, Vijnanam, Astikam, Brahma, Karma, Svabhavadi. So, Krishna says that the regulative principle, sex life, is all right. That is I am. That is Krishna. If we can beget children to develop them in Krishna consciousness and thus become liberated from the clutches of repeated birth and death, that is the duty of the father and mother rightly followed. Otherwise, we become entangled. Jechaiva sattvika bhava rajasa tamasasya dve matta eveti tana vidhi nattaham tesi te mahi. Because everything emanates from Krishna or Parabrahma, the absolute truth. Even Tamagun, Rajagun, all these gunas, they are also emanation from Krishna. Jechaiva sattvika bhava. Sattvika bhava means the consciousness of goodness, material goodness, sattvika bhava. There are many persons who are very moral and following the rules and regulations of the Shastra, or an ideal Brahmin. That is sattvika bhava. Jechaiva sattvika bhava, rajasa. Rajasa means the Kshatriya spirit, consciousness. And tamasasya, matta eveti. They are all emanations from Krishna. Because everything is emanation. Krishna or absolute truth means the original source of all emanation. Janmadasya jataha. Atahata Brahma Jijnana. What is Brahma? Brahma means the original source of all emanation, where from everything is come. So, all these varieties, they are coming from Brahma. So, Brahma cannot be impersonal. If Brahma is impersonal, how the varieties are coming from him? That is not possible. He is the source of everything. There is sattvic bhav, there is rajasic bhav, there is tamasic bhav in Krishna. Therefore, when we see Krishna's pastimes lila, just like Krishna killing a demon. That is Rajasic bhava. There are many instances. If you read Krishna's life from Krishna book, you will find exactly it is similar to human activity. Therefore Krishna says, Matta eveti tana vidhi, but I am not affected by those qualities. That is Krishna's special prerogative. When we are under the spell of Satagun, Rajagun, Tamagun, we become affected. But Krishna, when you find that Rajagun is exhibited in his pastime, but he is not under the influence of the Rajagun. Even sometimes Krishna is found under the influence of Tamagun, but he is not there. That is explained here. Sribhi gunamai bhavai revi sarvavidam jagat mohitang navijanati mamebha paramabhayam. The whole world is captivated by these three qualities of material nature. The difference is that Krishna comes also within this material world, and the ordinary living entities, they also come within this material world. As Krishna says in the 4th chapter, Arjuna, both you and me have many, many births, but you have forgotten. I have not forgotten. This forgetfulness is under the influence of Tamagun. So although Krishna takes birth many, many times, he appears, Janma karma may dibbam, but such appearance and disappearance are dibbam, transcendental. They are not ordinary. And if we accept Krishna's birth or Krishna's appearance and disappearance like us, then you are mistaken. Then mohita. Tribhi gunamai bhavi revi sarva vidam jagat mohitang nadhijanati mamebha paramabhayam. Mohitam, because we are influenced by the three qualities, therefore we are illusion. We think Krishna and myself on the same level. But Krishna here says, no, I am not there. Although these energies are coming through me or being emanated from me, still I am not influenced by them. That is Krishna's position. We should not therefore take Krishna as ordinary man. If you take that, then Krishna says that mudha, apajananti mana mudha, then we become foolish person. Daivi dhesa gunamayi mama maya durataya mame vaja prapaddanti maya metan taranti. These are the three influences of Maya, Satagun, Rajagun, Tamagun. Everyone is entangled with the influence of the Satagun, Tamagun, Rajagun. But Krishna says that if anyone surrenders unto me, or if anyone becomes a Krishna conscious person, a devotee, he can surmount the unsurmountable influence of the three gunas. That is the state, that is the position of the devotee. They are not under the control of Maya, they are controlled directly of the Supreme Personality of God. Therefore they have no fear. The Krishna says, anyone who surrenders unto me, I take charge of. He says, aham sva sarvapape bhamokhaishan. Even if his past life was sinful, still, because Krishna takes charge of such devotees, immediately he becomes free from all contamination. And the guidance is there by Krishna. Therefore he says, here it is stated clearly, Krishna says that everyone is entangled by the three modes of material nature. But any man who has surrendered unto me, he is freed from this influence. Now the next question is, if everyone is trying to become freed from the contamination of material nature, mukti, that is called mukti. Great sages, great saintly persons, simply to get out of the clutches of this material nature, they undertake severe penances and austerities. That if it is so simple that simply by surrendering unto the lotus feet of Krishna, one becomes immediately liberated from the clutches of Maya, why then people do not take to this process? This question may be raised. They do not believe. They say, this is too much, simply by, they say sophistry, simply by surrendering unto Krishna, one becomes a liberated soul. They do not believe. And who does not believe? That is also stated by Krishna himself. He says, Namang duskitana mudha prapadante naradhama. Krishna says, once in a previous verse he says, Mamevaja prapadante mayametan paranti. Anyone who surrenders unto me, immediately he becomes free from the clutches of Maya. The next paragraph he says, unfortunately, those who are miscreants, they do not do it. Namang duskitana mudha. So, duskitina, those who are always engaged in sinful activities, they are called duskitina. And mudha, they have been described by learned scholars as the karmis. Mudha. Mudha, the exact meaning of mudha is an ass. So, the karmis, the fruity workers, they work very hard for sense gratification. But the similar mudha is an act. The similar mudha means the act is generally engaged in service by the washerman. The washerman loads the act with tons of cloth, and whole day he works for the washerman carrying tons of cloth. But at the end of the day, he is offered a morsel of grass, and he is satisfied. And by eating that grass, when he is sexually impulsed, he goes to the seer, and the seer kicks on his face. And he runs after the seer. The karmis, they are also like that, therefore they have been called as mudhas. They are working whole day, very hard, but they are eating sometimes 2 chapatis, that's all. Earning 1 crore of rupees per day by eating 2 chapatis only. Therefore they are mudhas. He has no sense that only for 2 chapatis I am working so hard. And for sex life I have to bear so much expenses at the order of my wife. These are facts. We should not be sorry, because Krishna says, when we deliberately discuss on shastras, there is no question of compromising. We must face the bare facts. So those who are simply satisfied in this way, the whole day, vivakarte hayarajan, kutumma bharanena nidra hyate naksam babayena chavabhaya. At night, simply by sleeping or by sex life, and during daytime, simply for money or kutumba bhavan or maintaining the family. This is a karmi's life. and they are described in the Bhagavad Gita. The such persons are mura, they cannot understand how they can be liberated. They are simply working for nothing. There is Narottam Das Thakur sings very nice song. Hari Hari Bifale Janama Gwain. My dear Lord, Hari, I have simply spoiled my life. Hari Hari Bifale Janama Gwain. Manusya Janama Paiya Radha Krishna Nabhoji. I got very nice body, just fit for worshipping Radha and Krishna. Manusya Janama Paiya Radha Krishna Janiya Suniya Bishok Ain. Knowingly I have drunk poison. Janiya Suniya Bishok Ain. This is the life of Mura. One should be conscious that I have got this opportunity of human life. I must be in this life simply Krishna conscious. I shall simply think of Krishna. Satatang Chintayantam Ma. Always Chintan. Satatang Chintayantam Ma. Kirtayantam Ma. Always. Tetham, that verse in the 6th chapter. Yoginam api sarvesam madgata antaratmana sadhyavan bhajati yoman samejuktatam. So, this is the business of human life. Always think of Krishna. But the murhas, as it is stated here, in duskritina, miscreant. The kriti, this word kriti means meritorious. There is exact counter word you find in the next stanza, sukritina. And here it is called duskritina. So kriti means merit. Nowadays people are, suppose it's not nowadays, all the days, there are certain classes of men who are called meritorious, intelligent. So kritina. So, but there are duskritina, sukritina. Those who are using their merit for Krishna consciousness, they are sukritina. And those who are using their merit for nothing, uselessly, for self-gratification, they are called duskritina. Both of them are using merit. It is not that a sinful man, a rogue, a thief, a dacoit has no merit. He has got good merit, but he is utilizing for different purpose. Therefore they are called duskritina. Merit should have been, just like we have got human merit, better than the animal merit. So this merit is being misused to improve the process of eating, sleeping, making and defending. If you improve this process, I mean eating, sleeping, that does not make you very advanced in civilization. The animal is also eating whatever according to the nature they are destined to eat, they are eating. Similarly, we are also eating, but we are not eating according to the indication of nature. Take for example, our teeth and animal teeth, there is difference. Our teeth, this is scientific, our teeth is meant for eating vegetables and fruit. It is so made. If you eat continually vegetables and fruit, you will not be attacked with pyorrhea. But if you eat meat, your teeth is not meant for eating meat, you will very soon be attacked with pyorrhea, because breaking the laws of nature. This is one example. Similarly, in our eating, sleeping, making and defending, we are using so many wrong things. Just like formerly, there was also fight. That fight was being conducted with arrows and bows. So if you want to kill your enemy, you will kill your enemy, not others. Other innocent people will not be killed. But nowadays, for defending, we are using atom bomb. So many thousands of innocent men are being killed. So therefore, to manufacture or to invent such weapons, lethal weapons, is requiring very good merit. But duskritina, for committing sinful activities. Even war, there is dharma. That can be also dharma avariddha. Just like Arjuna fought. He fought dharma avariddha under the guidance of Krishna. That is not ordinary fight. That fighting is Krishna. Because he was fighting under the guidance of... Personally he refused to fight. But when he understood that Krishna wanted that fighting, under his guidance he fought. That fighting is Krishna. Similarly, there are actions, different actions. Some of them are duskarya and some of them are sukarya. Sukarya means when you act such actions under the guidance of Krishna, that is nice. And when you act under your wings, then that is mischievous. So miscreants and they act like human being, Mura and Naradhama. Naradhama means, Nara means human being, and Adhama means the lowest. That's why we accept some Chandala as Naradhama. There are many low-grade people, but actually a Chandala is not a low-grade man. The man who does not take to Krishna consciousness, he is supposed to be Naradhama, because he has got the chance. An animal hasn't got the chance to become Krishna conscious. I cannot call animals, cats and dogs in this meeting. That is impossible, because they have no chance. But we can call, we can hold a meeting amongst the human beings for discussing Krishna, because they have got this special power to understand. This special power to understand Krishna, if it is misused for other purposes, there is Naradhama. He got the chance of human being, but he has become degraded on account of his unwillingness to take Krishna consciousness. The such persons, duskritina, always engaged in mischievous activities, always engaged to work hard like an ass, and does not take the advantage of human beings. They are called duskritina, mudha, naradhama. Then one may say, all right, these people are lowest of mankind, or like an ass, miscreants, but there are many, many educated persons, highly elevated in discussing philosophy. Why they do not take to Krishna consciousness? Why they say that there is God is Nirakara, there is no God, I am God, you are God. Why do they say? Why do they not take to Krishna consciousness? This question may be raised also. They are not fools. They are very highly learned. They have undergone tapasya, sannyasi. Why do they not take shelter of Krishna? Krishna is answering to that question. Maya aparita jnana. Yes, they are advanced in knowledge, undoubtedly. But because they are asuri bhava asrita. Asuri bhava means atheistic principle. There is no God. I am God. This is called atheistic or asuri. Just like Rava. You are very much materially advanced. You are very good scholar in Vedic literature. You are son of a Brahmin also. Very powerful. but he did not believe in Rama, God. That was his only fault. Therefore he is described as Asura, Rakshasa. Similarly Kansa, Hiranyakashipu. Say anyone, however materially, he may be advanced in education and knowledge, maybe PhD or DSc or something like that. If he does not believe in God, he is to be supposed that Maya has taken his real knowledge. In spite of his education, he is fool number one. Maya apadhita jnana. Why such things take place? That a learned man becomes foolish without understanding Krishna, because asuri bhava, because he has accepted the atheistic principle, there is no Krishna, there is no God. Only for this reason, in spite of education and qualification, he cannot understand Krishna. And because he cannot understand Krishna, therefore he cannot take to devotional service. These are the descriptions. Namami duskhitanam mudha prapaddante narandhama. But there are certain jnanis who are actually sincere to know the absolute truth. Such persons, even they may be misled in one life, 2 lives, 3 lives, but at the end they come to the conclusion that Krishna is everything. Vasudeva sarvamiti. Bahunam janmanamante jnanama. Yes, it is said that Maya apadhita jnana. So long there is influence of Maya, he is lost of real knowledge. But in spite of that, if he makes progress in understanding the absolute truth, then after many births, not in one birth, bahunam janmanam, when he comes to the actual point of knowledge that Krishna is everything, Vasudeva sarvamiti, prapaddante, surrender. That means to surrender unto Krishna is the ultimate goal of all knowledge, all activities, all tapasya, all yoga. If one does not reach that point, that he is simply wasting his time and energy. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna.